and it's the 30th today, so the end of August. So we're kind of moving into, go ahead, keep going. We're moving into the end of summer, I guess. I don't like to call it fall quite yet because we still have a lot of days left, a whole lot of days. And today's our custom processing day, and we're just waiting for the water to get hot. So me and my associates are down here and we're moving temporary fence, okay? So I'm making a video because I finally got a handle on this whole thing. And it took a while. It took a while because I was in a different mentality than I am now. I'm in the homesteading mentality, which means I have to use this property to best suit my family and my friends and family, right? So this is a hay field, okay? And I may have made a video down here a time or two. This is probably the biggest hay field that we have on this farm, and it's probably 12 acres. I think that's what the map says. So it's pretty good size, And I take probably 25 bales off here in the first cutting, something like that, 25. So this year didn't work out so good for a second cutting, and it forced me to wait, and I'm still waiting, and that helped me to think about, what are you doing? How much hay do you need to make it through the winter, right? We think that feeding cows truly is done by giving them bales of hay. No, feeding cows is truly done by letting them come out here, walk around here, eat what they want, lay down, manure, urinate out here. That's truly feeding cows, right? I live in northern Michigan, and it gets pretty nasty in the wintertime. We have a lot of snow, and the cows can't come out here and graze anymore. They can for a while. They'll dig down through the snow. But after a while, no, they got to stay at the barn. So then we have to feed them hay. So this is what I've come to understand about this and what makes sense to me. I did my first cutting, and I got somewhere around 80 bales of round bales of hay. All right, so that gives me 2 bales a week for 40 weeks. That's a long time. I mean, look at the calendar. If I start on a certain day and I go 40 weeks, I mean, that's more than I need. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I'm thinking, there's 52 weeks in a year. If I can go 40 weeks, that leaves me 12 weeks when I can't graze. Well, I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape with the number of cattle that I have. Plus, I know some of them are going to rotate out, and I may replace them. So I'm in good shape. So why would I spend another drop of diesel fuel to make another bale? Well, some guys do that because they want to sell some of it so they can have some cash come in to buy more diesel fuel and more insurance and stuff like that. And I get that. But I don't need to do that. So why would I do that? I would not do that, and I'm not going to do that. So if I want to push this from the other direction, to get the most out of this without hurting it, I don't want to hurt this land, right? I could put anhydrous ammonia down on this, and I'd get twice as much hay, but I'd be killing every worm that's out here, and that's going to shoot me in the foot. I mean, I might have a good year or two, but eventually it catches up with you. This is good, resilient ground that hasn't had any chemical on it. It gets sunshine, it gets rain, it gets the soft breeze going across it, and then it gets to sleep for the winter. And that's the way it was designed to work. So that's good enough. If you push it, you pay. I mean, you do pay if you push it. So it hasn't been pushed in a long time, at least 15 years that I've lived here, and it's good, it's healthy, it's resilient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graze as long as I possibly can. So because I didn't cut this for a second cutting, it's a little higher than it would be. And when you cut, and it's short grass, as a second cut usually is, then you rake it, a lot of it just falls down in the cracks and you never do retrieve it. So it's very inefficient, your second cutting, at least for me, in the equipment that I have. I mean, this is all me. This isn't everybody. I know there's farmers out there that have more better equipment than I do. But for me and what I'm doing, what makes more sense is to leave this out here and then very gently graze it off. Here's what I mean by gently grazing it off. All right, right here, I think you can see that temporary line that's laying on the ground. What the boys are doing now is they're moving the step-in posts, and we wanted to give the cows like another 50 feet of this field. If you look at the line here, don't know how well you can see it, but it's not as well defined. I mean, I can see it. I can see where they've been for the last couple days and where they're going. But it's not, I didn't graze it down to rocks, you know, and you don't want to do that. If they're out here gently grazing it, and that's what they would do if this was the, you know, the central, you know, if these were bison out here, they wouldn't stay on one piece of ground just because. They're staying on this piece of ground because I'm putting this electric wire up, and if they try to go across it, they get a shock. It's not mean. It's just, and we didn't even turn it on last time. Somebody forgot to turn it on last time, but they didn't try it, you know. I wouldn't try it. If I thought it might be on, I wouldn't check it by putting my hand on it. I wouldn't do that. So they would not normally stay on a piece of ground just because. They would move, right? But the problem with that is they will only eat the stuff they like, and then they'll move to the next piece of ground and eat the stuff they like, and the next piece of ground and eat the stuff they like. So when we limit their movement, it kind of forces them to eat everything. And in areas like this over here, we would call that a riparian area. It's wet there. There's some trees. I can't mow that. I can't get in there at all. But the cows were in there for like 5 days. And they ate a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think cows would eat. They ate a lot of leaves off the trees, and they even nibbled at the bark on the trees and stuff like that. And that's fine. They're disturbing that area. They're stepping it down. A lot more stuff will come up. So I guess my point is I'm going to cut enough hay to get me through the number of weeks that I need to, you know, when I absolutely can't graze. And then I'm going to fortify my position on grazing, get better at it, get smarter at it, you know, make it easier for us to get the cows out. Because right now, I got a good thing going. I have a milk cow that is the leader of the pack, and like they were down here last night. They stayed down all night, even through the rain. They just laid down. You can see their beds. And then they got up this morning. They ate until about 9 o'clock. And then she said, whoops, time to go up and get milked, because she gets treats when she gets milked. And they all followed her up. So from here, I mean, you can see it's a pretty good walk up there. And they have to go the long way. They have to go around the fields, because I don't let them walk across the fields where they, you know, they make trails. So their trail is around the outside. And so they make that trek twice a day. It's good for them to walk. You know, it's not going to hurt them. And so I got a good thing going. So if I add younger cows to the mix, they're just going to follow the herd. So the training is good, and that training, I have a neighbor over here, when he milked, his cows came all the way over to nearly my fence line, and twice a day they would make that trek back to his place when he milked, when he and it was like 80 cows. When he would open up the back door, it made a noise and they'd hear it. And he'd been doing it for 30 years, you know, so it worked out good. Let's see. Yeah, so as far as utilization of the resource that's here, I'll look over the fence here real quick. That's where they were. And that would be a riparian area as well. It's wet, so wet that I can see standing water in there. And, you know, I guess I could hire a company to come in and rip out all those things and put tiles down and run all that water down into our, you know, our river that's already polluted. But that area is, go ahead, you can start stringing this up if you want. That area is providing us a lot of growth. It's, you know, it's natural habitat and stuff, and it's not unused by the livestock that we have here. They're using it, and they really like it because they can get in there and they can get out of the flies, and then we don't have to use any fly potions on them, which I hate doing. So yeah, this is working out really good. I was kind of feeling like, man, I should cut more hay because I just need more hay. But then I thought, why would I do that? It's going to take me a whole bunch of diesel fuel. It's more wear and tear on that equipment. It takes me a week to do it. And I would really have to put other projects that I have going on hold just so I can cut it, bale it, put it in the barn, and have an excess, just to have an excess. No, didn't make sense for me. I mean, if a guy needs to generate dollars, well then yeah, you know, I'm not saying this is the way to do it for everybody, but for me, this is the way to do it. And I could, as I've looked at this, I could increase my herd by quite a bit by pushing or fortifying my position as a grazer, right? Like I could get out earlier on the fields if I had the corridors or the lanes to get my cows out on this area. You know, I can't put them out on hayfield right off because it's too wet. And plus I need that cutting off there. I want that first cutting to go in the barn. So could I get them out earlier? I think I could, and I'm going to try next spring. Can I keep them out longer? I know I can. I know I can. We've brought them to the house sometimes October, just because, well, it's time to start feeding hay. And the upside of that was, well, I can collect their manure. Well, I went through my composting today. First thing I did was turn compost piles. I have more compost than I need. So why do I need to make more of that? I guess what I am experiencing here is the homesteading model seems to be far more abundant than the commercial farming model that I was running anyway, because I'm not, I guess I'm not, I didn't grow up doing this. Yeah, it's far more abundant than I would ever have thought it would have been. So I can actually have more cattle out here, raising forage for my pigs. I can have more pigs on the field, and there's less checks to write at the end of the month, right? So I'm going to have a video coming because a guy made a comment about milking cows, and he says, I'd love to milk a cow, but I only have 7 acres. And he says, you could never do it on 7 acres. And I shot him a message back, and I said, can I make a video about that? And I said, I'll be nice to you, but I beg to differ, all right? And it kind of encompasses the whole mindset, of what this homesteading thing is all about. All right.